What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, aka JT, aka J On, aka Sherpa Winfrey, host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Sherpa Short, where we get into like one or two domain topics and kind of do what we do. We keep these a little bit shorter than our typical shows, which can run like an hour, hour and a half. This won't be that, but we got some cool stuff to talk about today. So let me go ahead and dive right into it. All roads lead to domains. We got some exciting news. Josh, we want to tell them what's good. Let's talk about DNX. What's up?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So we're rebranding GTDN to DNX. Thank God.
Billy, wait, hit him with some fireworks. Billy, hit him with an explosion.
So the way that I kind of thought about it is I launched it in October, put it on that domain, just wanted to like test the market, see what was going on, see what the feedback was. Feedback was good. Had some good conversations with people in the industry. Specifically, had some good conversations with the good people of MediaOptions, JT and Drew, and decided that we were gonna try to take it to the next level and spend a little bit more time on it. DNX.com was available, thanks to the MediaOptions guys, and we got a little, we conjured up a little partnership. So
we had you on the show. We talked about, get that domain. We thought that the tool is very, very cool. I think what you're doing is really, really awesome. The idea of creating tooling around the domain space in areas where certain marketplaces do not have effective searches and, utility around how to really surface and source good domain buying opportunities, for folks. And, and there's obviously a ton of domain inventory out there. Shout out to Afternic, shout out to Cedo, shout out to, a bunch of the partners that we have that will be pulling the inventory onto DNX. And, I know Drew and I were super, super impressed with what you had built with over a pretty short period of time.
I don't know when, but later in the journey, 2016, 18, something like that. Maybe even later, we relaunched it as a proprietary marketplace that was permissioned only. And so basically we would only allow people in that were clients. So people that came to us saying, hey, I'm looking for a domain name, or certain brokers we also allowed. But it was basically what we tried to do is capture a repository of all the premium domain names that existed in the market at any given moment in time. So all the domains, regardless of where they were listed, if they were for sale or we knew they could be for sale, we wanted them listed, and then we wanted to provide tools that would better allow a user to search, sort, and filter. And those are really the things that are missing those four things are missing in our industry, which is curation, search, sort, and filter, all in one place. And so we tried to do that, but because we're not very good at building tech, it was very manual. We had to go in there and manually add domains that we saw in newsletters, manually add domains that were, coming up, on broker websites or marketplaces, or, we saw on social media, or that we, monitor and we saw changes in the DNS or whatever. And the same goes for taking domains down. We had to manually do all that work to take them down as we saw that they were sold or that they were no longer available. Price changes happen. And so it was a lot to manage. Ultimately, too much of the inventory got stagnant. It became more of a hindrance than a help. And we shut it down. And then, but for all of the reasons I just sort of outlined why I launched it in the first place, is why I got excited when I saw, GTDN, because I thought, oh, he's building the search, sort, and filter tools that are really needed, in my experience, to actually identify great domain names or great values. And it's just been wild to me that none of the major marketplaces have ever introduced any of these like seemingly simple search, sort, and filter tools. But anyways, very excited to participate in DNX, and I think that obviously I think it's the best in class brand, and it's a big shoe to basically grow into, I think. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what you can do. And obviously we're excited to help, get there, whatever ways we can. But I think that as this thing develops with the pipeline you've got, in mind, I think it'll be an essential element of the domain investment community.
But I think that because we're going to invest in that, I think people are going to see just how valuable these data points are. And, in order to really identify what you want, you need a lot of these things. And I think the best investors know how important these things are. So, we're going to build something that's going to be very, very useful for a lot of people that are frequently buying domains. But at the same time, we're going to have a lot of inventory, and we're going to be building something useful for maybe people that are not that familiar with the domain industry. So like today, a lot of us will go to expireddomains.net and, we'll see what we can find there. And, we know ways to search, which will help us find something. But, it's not that consumer friendly. And I would say we're going to build something we've built something that is a little bit easier for the average person to navigate, and then we'll just simplify ways to make it easy for them to search. And the great thing is that the big mission is bring these listings into one central location, so that it's not a fragmented market. And that's why the partnerships that we're creating, starting off with Afternic is huge. Their inventory is vast. The whole team over there are great. But then, adding in various other inventory sources, Atom, who we're about to integrate with the platform, Cedo, who we're going to integrate with the platform. It just makes it easier for, anyone, whether they're a domain investor, an end user, to go and find the domain that they want. We'll see how it evolves from there.
Yeah, I think 100%, man. And it's funny going back to the idea of how a lot of these marketplaces just don't have a smart search, right? But it also makes sense because we're going to be aggregating inventory from across a lot of different platforms and a lot of different places, some of which that aren't even really available in marketplaces, right? Some of the stuff that we're got in our own sort of call it our listings, our pocket listings, things like that. And just trying to also get to where you have consistency across, all of these marketplaces and pockets and buckets of inventory. Makes sense that to be able to centralize that just in general is helpful. Just like expireddomains.net, for a long time was super, super helpful for sourcing that kind of stuff across some of the auction platforms and things like that. Real quick too just to double back, big shout out to CoinChrist. I don't know, not a lot of people know this, but he helped us with the redesign of our newsletter, which was, and Shane was involved with that too. I just love how it all kind of comes full circle, with the whole Domain Sherpa family and some of that stuff. Also, fun fact about CoinChrist, you can see his Bored Ape makes a cameo in the wrap-off CryptoPunk versus Bored Ape rap battle. And, which, maybe we'll see VAYC make a little comeback during all this. ApeCoin might bounce back.
One thing, GT, just to before I get, it sounds very simple, like domain search, but I would say that registrars and like traditional marketplaces, I've been saying this to various people recently, they're very, very focused on keyword search. Keyword meaning, if I'm looking for, Bloom something, then I have to type in Bloom, and then you'll get all these, suggestions for like bloom.com, bloom.co, bloom.xyz or something Bloom. But that is not the way that a lot of people want to search. And brokers like you guys, and some of the other, top brokers in the industry understand that is not how people want to search for a domain anymore. Like they want to search in a way that encompasses lots of different keywords, and
yes,
so
keyword search is
exist.
It's useless. It's useless. People say, I want a domain for a new insurance company, but 9 times out of 10, they don't want it to have the word insurance in it.
Right.
So,
Right.
How do you search for that? And what you have to do is, you got to utilize all totally different parameters, and you got to utilize, these keyword trees that go 2, 3, 4, probably 2 or 3 levels of abstraction. So meaning, there's an amazing website for this, by the way. We can talk about it offline, but like let's say you start off with the word tree. Well, a second level abstraction of that would be, leaf. And a third level abstraction of that might be green. And a fourth level abstraction of that might be,
photosynthesis.
Nature.
No,
Nature.
Oh, nature. That's good. That's very good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, those are all relevant and related keywords without the actual keyword that people use as a trigger, right? So that's the way search has to work, because that's the way that the people doing the search work.
On topic a second.
All right, well, fine.
That valuation, that's another component that I think is important, which is really, really hard to do. But I do think that it's getting easier, and there will be more methods of identifying value. And that doesn't mean you put an exact dollar figure on a domain, but we kind of touched on this a little bit before when we talked about GTDN, and Drew touched on it as well. But like, something that we will do, I don't know when, but sooner rather than later, is help determine value on the inventory as well. Because whether you're an investor or you're not an investor, you want to get at least a rough idea of the value of what you're buying. And, a lot of people just don't have a freaking clue. So, if we can help them within a certain range, or at least some sort of metric that helps them value domain names to some degree, it's going to be useful, and it's going to be, it's going to make a huge difference for just that. It's like the feeling that it evokes when you're buying something and you have at least some kind of idea that you're not making a bad buy or something like that, right? And it's helpful, and in that regard. And then it's also helpful from a search standpoint, from just finding something that fits what you're looking for, right? A lot of the time you're looking for something that's more valuable than not. So that is an important component as well, and something that we'll integrate.
Wait, Bitcoin just hit almost 93,000.
Dude,
we just skipped over 92 like it was ain't no bang.
92,
like
92 got skipped over like 13 in an elevator. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, not 100%.
We're gonna hit 100K this week.
We might hit it today.
It is beyond crazy.
I mean, usually, just for the record, when we turn the corner from sideways consolidation, which comes the last part of the bear market, and we turn the corner into parabolic phase, we usually get 3 consecutive God candles. So a God candle was defined by a $10,000 move. So,
okay.
We're in a God candle right now.
Yeah, we're in our second God candle right now.
Yeah.
So, it could get funky.
This God candle is like sick as well. It's just like,
yeah, hell yeah. That's that shit right there.
It's that rocket ship.
Well, this is the thing, is all these idiots that say, "Oh, I'm gonna time the market." Bitcoin makes, I think Bitcoin makes 80% of its return in it's either 8 or 12 days.
Yeah.
So there's 12 days,
Yeah.
which if you weren't in the market on those days, you missed out on a pretty big portion of Bitcoin's returns.
100%.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty wild times, man. Wild times. And then that'll, lead, as we've seen, when
this is going to be great. Domain name market is about to heat up 2025. I see you. We're coming for you. Look, here's the deal. I just want everybody to go back, turn back the tape. Okay. I'm a little sick to be pounding my chest right now, but turn back the tape. Go back. And what did I say? You know, all these people spouting off about, you know, what their predictions for 2024, and everybody had the same bullshit. And what did I say? I said 2025. Sorry, I said 2024 is going to be basically a repeat of 2020, which it widely was. And 2025 is going to be a repeat of 2021. And I think that's what we're about to see. And 2021 was our best sales, our best year in history. And it was just bow, 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 bow. And that was even with us being distracted with monkey JPEGs and all the other stupid shit. So,
Hey, man, shout out to all that stuff, including 8-Bit, man. The album's coming.
Yeah, shout out.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so, but of course, like, you know, anyway, so we're not to make it a political thing, but the, what was I going to say? I had something.
This isn't a political thing. This is an America thing. This is a make money type of thing. That's what we're about here on Domain
capitalism in
Sherpa.
full effect. That's really
We
what.
are. If there's anything that we are about on this show, it is straight up raw capitalism. That's what we are about.
Raw
on
and
this show.
uncut capitalism. That's what we got.
Raw
going.
and uncut capitalism. And I'm telling you right now, I couldn't be more here for it than America is about to get a real taste, I hope, of raw, uncut capitalism.